Hey everybody, I just wanted to hop on and give y'all chapter 4 of the testimony of Sparks, of how Sparks came together. So I just believe that God has given me a second chance to reintroduce the book, but this time I'm doing it his way. I'm following the instructions that he's given me to reintroduce the book. So once again, it's about Be the Spark. And so today we're talking about chapter 4, which is, oh no, you really about to do it? Everybody is so familiar about what Kendrick Lamar did on the Super Bowl performance, right? He took his shot. He did it. He did exactly what everybody knew he was going to do, but he did it. He might have been given the opportunity not to do it, but he went ahead, he took his shot, and he went ahead and did his diss in the front of the whole, everybody who was watching the Super Bowl, internationally went out. So, I just thought about that, and I thought about the story that God gave me about the chance that I had to chop off someone's head. And did I take it? I ended up not taking it because I took some godly advice. So chapter 4 is about humility, integrity, and just using a little bit of emotional intelligence, and just being obedient to, obedient to your authority, and just understanding and recognizing what authority actually is, spiritual and physical, in the natural authority. So this particular day, I was working on telemetry. I was having just a bad, horrible day, getting slammed with patients back to back. And if you've worked on telemetry, you already know the story. You know that you're about to get slammed with patients. You know you're about to be busy. You might not have some help. You may have some help. You may get lunch. You may not get lunch. You might get to go to the restroom. You might not get to go to the restroom. But this day was especially hard. And I had some beef, I guess, with my supervisor, because this supervisor didn't really show any empathy in anything that was happening. And it just really got to me that day, because I'm like, golly, we putting in all this work and we don't even get told thank you, or how can I help you? Do you need some lunch? You need to go take a minute to go to the restroom? But anyway, I got through that day. It was a hard, challenging day, but I got through it. And the next day we had a unit meeting. So I walked in there, and the people that knew what happened, they were like, you're going to tell, because this would be the right time to tell. Well, my charge nurse at the time said, no, Carissa, this is not the time for that. This is not the place, and you shouldn't do that right now. So even though I wanted to chop this guy's head off, I wanted to tell it like it is. I wanted to let everybody know. I wanted to let the world know that we don't have any empathy. We don't get any thank yous. This is a horrible thing, because it was a unit meeting about how can we improve. Well, that's one way to improve, right? But my supervisor was like, no. My charge nurse was like, no, this is not the time. But what I did do at the end of the meeting, I took the time to go and talk to the CNO about Sparks, about what Sparks was. I took the opportunity to tell him what Sparks stood for. I started off with saying, the S is for strength and support. The P is for perspective. The A is for awareness. The R is for rapport and relationship. The K is for kindness, and the S is for spirituality. Where there was a lady, I didn't really go too much in detail about the scriptures that were attached to the acronym, but I did tell him what Sparks stood for. And in that space, there was a lady that was standing there with him. I don't know who she was, but she was like, well, somebody else has already presented something like that. And so I said, no, not like this. And so I got to telling her that I held meetings for nurses that were encouraging and motivating. And she was just upset with me even sharing the very thing that, God allowed me to share. And so I just went on with it. He told me to go ahead and email him what it was. And so I did. I took that opportunity to email him. And then at that point, when I sent it off to email, I heard God say, copy it. So I went ahead and I copied it, and I sent a carbon copy to myself. The next day when I came to work, I spoke to one of my coworkers, and I said, well, God, I heard God say copy it. What do you think he meant by that? And she said copyright, maybe he meant copyright. And so that's when I took the opportunity to go ahead and copyright the idea for Sparks. I didn't know what a copyright was. I didn't know how much it cost, how much time it did, but I did. I went ahead and took the step to do it. Now, David in 1 Samuel chapter 24 and chapter 25, he also had the opportunity to chop off Saul's head. He was so close to King Saul that he had the opportunity to kill him. If he would have been looking at it in a different way, if he wouldn't have been a man after God's own heart, he would have just took that opportunity to kill him, because he wouldn't have understood authority and spiritual authority, and how God had placed King Saul in this position, and he was anointed for this position. So David didn't kill King Saul. He had the opportunity to kill him when he was deep in a cave on a toilet. Says about it. It talks about it in chapter 1 Samuel chapter 24. David was with all his men. He could have ended Saul's life, but because he understood about authority, he didn't take that time. And then he was so close to him that he even cut a part of his robe. After King Saul was done using the restroom, King David followed him out of that cave, and he showed him the robe that he cut. So at that time, a godly sorrow came over King Saul, because he was like, dang, you better than, not in those words, but you better than me, because you didn't take the time to kill me. And I've been searching you. I've been hunting you down to kill you. But he didn't take that opportunity to kill King Saul. He took that opportunity to show some humility. And he showed that opportunity to show him some honor, and let him know that I didn't do this because I know that you're God's anointed. In the very next chapter, he comes to protect Nabal's property, and he comes in contact with Abigail. So David was guarding Nabal's property, but Nabal's name stood for foolishness. So it goes to show you, our foolish man. So it goes to show you that just because someone is in a position of authority, it doesn't mean that they understand how to be empathetic. It doesn't mean that they know how to be sympathetic, and it definitely doesn't mean that they know how to be a good leader. But as a child of God, you know how to be a good leader, and you should understand what authority is and spiritual authority is. But sometimes you might not understand as the novice coming up, but those in a higher authority, like my charge nurse, she understood authority, and she understood that it wasn't time for that. But Nabal mocked David. He mocked him when he only asked him to feed his men, because he had been guarding his land. He had been protecting his land and his sheep and his people from the bears and the lions and everything that could have attacked David and his people. Nabal's people and his servants. David was so mad that he was on his way to kill all of them. He was going to end everybody's life. But Abigail, Nabal's wife, heard it. And so she acted quickly. She was like, no, you're not about to. He's foolish. We're not about to do this. I'm not about to let this man end all these people's lives. I'm going to just go and act. So she went to David. She loaded up her donkey with all the food, figs and everything that they could need that could, thank them, show them thanks for protecting this property. So she rode her donkey, and she got off of her donkey as soon as she saw David. Now that shows that humility, because she had to come down from that donkey and bow down to him, just like David had to bow down to King Saul. Because she understood authority, she understood what it was, and she understood that it is not time to die. She spoke to David, and she let him know, don't do this, David. Don't take this man's life with your own hands. Just the same as me. I was in a position where I could have taken his life with my own hands, but I didn't, because of the good instruction that I received, and I chose to go the right way. And so she prayed for David at the end. When he agreed not to do it, she prayed for him and promised him that God would fight his battles. She reassured him and prayed for him, spoke a blessing over him, that because you don't do this, then God will fight your battles. So just like for me, I chose to do the latter. I chose to go against oh no, you're really about to do it, and I didn't do it. I didn't take that road to chop this guy's head off or to expose his faults and his flaws to everyone. I chose to go up instead of down. I chose to go right instead of left. And I took the chance, and I took the time to talk about something positive. And because I took the time to talk about something positive, God rewarded me for it by allowing me to hear his voice, to speak to me, to let me know that all I have to do is copyright the idea. So it taught me how to copyright Be the Spark's idea. And then so when I was able to finish writing the book, I knew the process of how to copyright the book. So, it just goes to show you that, you don't always have to take the opportunity to chop somebody down. You could take the opportunity to just show a little bit of integrity, just walk with humility and just use a little bit of emotional intelligence. And that's what Be the Spark does for people. That's what Be the Spark can do for you. It just opens the door and starts your relationship with Jesus. It shows you how to apply the word in a practical way using nursing care plans to show you how to apply the word to that situation that you might be going through. So if you know a nurse that may be struggling or in transition, or, just a nurse or anyone that might want to read this, but, if you know a nursing student that might want to read Be the Spark devotional, because it might help them on their journey. It could help them on their journey, because we're all in transition. Somehow we're all in transition some kind of way. But if you know someone that could use this book, then you should get this book for them, or at least direct them to where to get it. And I'll post the link to Amazon in the comments. So y'all, I hope that y'all, appreciated the story. Like I appreciated the story today when it really just hit home for me. I was like, wow, God, I had the opportunity to do that. But when he showed me through the word, just like I said, practical application, he showed me through the word. When you have the opportunity to cut somebody down, choose to do right. Pray for those people. When somebody is attacking you, pray for them. That's in the word too. Pray for them. Bless them and not curse them. And God will bless you for not cursing them, for not cutting them up, for not cutting them down, and for not tearing up their authority. So thank y'all for letting me share and listening in on chapter 4. And I look forward to delivering chapter 5 to y'all soon. So everybody be blessed and have a great, fantastic day.